and get as close as possible to the reality of our visit. And when Guru Gobind Singh Ji called by Kanhaiya Ji, he explained that, wherever he looked, he just saw Guruji's face, and so how could he not help them? And Guruji were very pleased with this answer, and so they gave him some ointment and some bandages and told him to heal the wounds as well as just giving water to everyone.
Bhai Kanhaiya Ji was an actual Brahmgani of their time, and right now I'm just inspired by what they did. It makes me think about whether I'm compassionate enough to the people that I talk to in my daily life or I see in my daily life. These people were the Sikhs' enemies, and Bhai Kanhaiya Ji was compassionate enough to them, whereas in my daily life I don't have many enemies at all. But even to the normal people, am I compassionate enough to them?
We got to see the actual springs that they used to use.
I don't think I've ever been that humble, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to be that humble.
ਵਾਹੋ ਵਾਹੋ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਪੇ ਗੁਰਚੇਲਾ ਸੋ ਜਿਸ ਦੋ ਧਾਰੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਫੁਲਾਦੀ ਖੰਡੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਇਸ ਅਸਥਾਨ 'ਤੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਛਕਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਖੰਡੇ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
I learned a lot of history today. Some of it I already knew, but it was reinforced by actually seeing the places, and it was all to do with Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's life and Guru Gobind Singh Ji's life. And I think I appreciate the sacrifices that they made a lot more now than I did at the beginning of this day.
As a prayer to God of this gruesome news, Guru Gobind Singh Ji uttered the famous shabad, Mitr Pyare Nu. Our group were fortunate enough to do Kirtan here. We even got to see the original tree that Guruji rested under.
I've always heard the Sakhi of the Sahibzada's Shaheed, and you just listen to it and you're like, okay, fine, they're bricked alive. But when you really go there and you experience the entire atmosphere and you see the brick wall right there in front of you, it really moves you to tears. It made me appreciate Sikhi so much. I just pray that Maharaj blesses me with that Sikhi so that I can keep it to my last breath as well.
Referring back to the story, it was just so intense, it brought tears to so many people's eyes. Literally what they did for Sikhi was just phenomenal, and that's one thing that was really, it was the highlight for me, to be there, to do the darshan and to refer back to the story, making everything just so, fitting in well together. And it really does just explain as to why we're here today and why we're here doing what we're doing.
Why would you remove your shoes when you go on the battlefield? There'll be spikes, swords, everything lying on the floor, and you'll get injured. So Guruji did this because they didn't want to step on the Gursikh's hair or the blood or the bodies of the Sikhs who died. They had that much respect for the Sikhs that you think these days we don't have respect at all.
It's quite amazing to actually see it for real. I know it's not just a fairy tale or a story in a book to be put away on the shelf, but it's real life. It happened, and we can interact with it if we want to.